Welcome back. This is Fantastic Pains and How We Hide Them. I'm not Chris.
And I'm not Karina.
But we're here together.
As usual.
With a friend. For more fun times and
shenanigans.
We are joined today by the wonderful pokey playing Randbo over there who's doing stuff.
Husband of podcast.
Husband of podcast. Hello.
Hi.
He's like, I hate these people.
Yeah.
If this is your very first time joining us, you will also hate these people. No, I'm just kidding. You'll love it. Welcome. This is our sibling duo podcast / YouTube channel about life with chronic and invisible illnesses and conditions, including those that are mental and emotional.
Because I'm mental and she's emotional.
Facts. Yes. Where can they find us?
You can find us everywhere except for Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
So we're on Spotify, we're on Podbean, we're on YouTube.
Yep.
We even have a Discord if you want to join us. We do lives on the weekends on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yes.
And you can join us there and interact with us, ask questions, participate in topics, complain, laugh at us. It's all good.
Point and laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun. Yeah.
We also have a new channel.
We do.
That we need to plug as much as we can.
Yes. Our podcast had a baby.
Yay.
And the baby's name is Chaos and Conversations. And if you are a Patreon subscriber, you might know about the chaos and conversations that happen before / after, between, you know, all the things. And the chaos that comes from and with
us.
It's crazy. It's fun. But it's a lot of fun. So join us over there.
That was it.
Sweet. What are we talking about today?
Labels. Just labels and how we use them. But more like throwing away labels, because we've talked about labels and how we use them, but we haven't talked about growing past them or changing the definition of them
and discarding labels
that
you don't need anymore.
Exactly.
Wow. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that'll be good. But first, it is time for the weekly recap.
Check in.
Indeed. Every day is Blur's Day. I don't really know.
She had a bad week. It was a horrible week. The worst week ever.
I got holes punched in my leg.
See?
That I know.
Horrible. That's
what I know. Yeah, I had a nerve biopsy. So I had 3 little holes punched in my leg.
Yeah.
And that was fun. And then that doctor who I am like, I don't know how I feel about him and I don't know how he feels about me. It's extremely confusing relationship.
Yeah.
Currently. And he was like, you have a follow-up on Monday. And I was like, oh, well, I can cancel it. And he was like, well, I don't know, keep the appointment. And I was like, what does that mean? So I'm seeing him again, or I'm talking to him on the phone on Monday.
Okay.
But he recommended a book that I decided that I was going to spite read the entire thing.
And you did.
And I did. So that'll be fun for Monday. Yeah. Aside from that, Evan has been mean. I have a face snake. It's evil. That's what I know. That it is evil.
We've labeled the pains.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a little segue.
Yeah.
Little preview.
The labels of the pains. Yeah.
The names of the pains.
The names, indeed. And then I was sick yesterday, so we did not do our live.
Was sick yesterday. I was sick yesterday. Jen was sick yesterday. You were sick yesterday.
It's not good.
Rin's got a stomach bug today.
All kinds of fatigued too. Like, you were not feeling great either, huh?
No. It was weird.
It was very weird. Did not feel good.
No.
But yeah.
I worked on the channel all week. The new channel.
The new channel.
Got it up and running. Got all the socials connected. Mm-hmm. Edited a bunch. Made shorts. Just a lot of work.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was very fun.
The stuff that I got to participate in was really fun. And then he had me come over because he was like, I need help.
I did.
And then I came over and he was like, I did it all.
Well, because I needed help and then you couldn't make it that day.
Exactly.
So I kept working at it. Not like furiously. I wasn't trying to do it.
I know.
But then when you got here, I was like, actually, I don't think there's anything to do.
It was just funny.
We could look at it
typical
and go,
of our style. Yeah. But I'm very excited about the new channel.
Yeah.
And it has kind of lit a fire under us, which is great.
I'm going to do stuff that it's my turn to talk, so I shouldn't be doing this. But I need to make sure Jen uploads the episode today.
Oh, yeah.
She
messaged me about the
episode.
Thumbnails. So those should be there.
Yeah. Well, she did it, but she didn't hit save changes on 8.1.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So it didn't go up this morning.
Oh, no.
And it doesn't have the thumbnail or anything, so I messaged her this morning. I was like, double check it, please.
Oh, that's lame.
But we're good. What else? I was sick yesterday. And I pulled a really good card last night.
Yeah?
I got an Aerodactyl. It's like $140.
Dang.
And if I get it graded, it could be like $400.
That's cool.
That was my big moment last night. I was like,
you were supposed to tell me and you didn't.
I was a little hyped, okay? And then I crashed.
Well,
I got the dopamine fix and then I crashed.
Good. I'm glad.
It's like dopamine.
Oh my God. My husband came home this morning and he looked at me and he goes, "How was your nap?" And I was like, "My what? my what? My like over the night nap?" And he was like, "Yeah, the nap."
The nap.
A long nap.
The long nap. I was just like, "Okay, you had the same nap, dear." He goes, "Well, I didn't know how it was for you."
Yeah, he was just asking. Don't be
Just
rude.
cute. Yeah. How was your week?
It's fine.
Oh man, behind the camera.
It
It was
worked.
fun. He did worked. Yeah.
That was pretty much my whole week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been hot. It's been
Yeah.
really, really hot.
Yeah, it killed my AC. Oh yeah, that was what happened.
Oh, that's right.
The office AC died and almost
Uh-huh.
burned the house down.
Uh-huh.
I showed you the
caught
cable,
it.
right? Like the burned orange cable.
I'm glad you caught it when you did.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And
Could've
it's
been
weird because
really
it
bad.
wasn't. It's usually not left on, which means the cat turned it on
Mhm.
with his fat ass
Yeah.
jumping off of it, and turned it on, and then it almost caught on fire
Yep.
because I think the compressor died in it, so it was pulling energy trying to force the cooling, and it melted the
that's
cable.
Bad.
So we got a new one, a smaller one that's less noisy.
Yeah.
But more efficient.
Mhm.
I like it.
Because it turns on and off.
Yeah.
Like it actually knows when to do what it needs to do.
Well, the one in the office came from like the Fundy house. It's from
It's
2016.
been there for a long time.
Got a lot of use.
It moved into this house when you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It moved into several houses with us.
Truth. Yes.
But yeah. So the
Okay.
new one's good.
Well, I'm glad that your house didn't burn down.
Me too.
Because that would have been really bad.
It smelled so bad when
Good
I walked in. I was
Lord.
like, what is that smell? Why am I smelling like ionized air? What the just about to die. That's
Oh,
fine.
you know, it's just exposed electric
Yeah.
wire everywhere. Great.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell us about your topic, sir.
What do I have to do it?
Because it was your brain baby.
I had the idea. Doesn't mean I know how to execute upon it.
Well, I mean, just
Yeah.
give me the briefs, and then we will
Well,
converse.
What it was during the Chaos and Conversations episode that we were talking about something about labels.
Yeah.
Talking about how you started using them,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, yeah, but they've changed. And then when I had that thought, I was like, oh, we should talk about the changing in labels, and then
Yeah.
how we need to drop some and pick up some as we get older,
Right.
and you need to like address. You should take time to address them.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so you can.
Right.
You're making like an actual note of it
Yeah.
that you've changed as a person,
Right.
and that you have different needs and wants,
No, that makes sense.
right?
Well, and I think that's interesting because, like, changing as a person, we consider ourselves like I am me the whole way through,
Yeah.
right? But you do change a lot as you grow up, and you change a lot as you learn, and you change a lot as you go through trauma, and you change a lot as you face adversity, and you change a lot as you form relationships and lose relationships and have to cut ties with things, and there's so much constantly happening in our worlds that really shapes what those labels mean.
Yeah.
And whether they are still applicable or not, which I think is important because we don't take time to like reflect on
No.
how have I grown.
Well, and you can have one that you needed like 5 years ago that is detrimental to you now, but you still hold on to because it's who you thought you think you are still.
Right.
Because you didn't think about it. You didn't go, oh, actually, I've outgrown this.
Right.
So you'll have like a habit or a perception,
Like
I
a
guess.
holdover.
Right.
Yeah.
That you're still doing. You're like, I don't need to do this anymore. This isn't needed.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it comes from.
Well, and you were kind of looking at it initially through the bipolar lens.
Yep.
Right. So I'm curious to hear about that portion because, I mean, for both of you, really, like, what were the labels looking like pre-diagnosis? Or was it just self-abuse? It was a lot of self-abuse.
Honestly,
But I mean, what were those labels? And
there was a lot of maladaptive labels.
Yeah.
Like I'm using big words.
maladaptive.
But they were labels that I gave myself that were who I am in a way. They were a consequence of not being treated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not knowing that I had a problem.
Right.
So I was very mean to myself. I had like very hateful labelage.
Yeah.
And then like some good, like, I'm good at computers. That woo, but I'm also
You're
horrible.
like, I'm the worst.
Everybody
but
hates
I can
me.
Computer.
Right? Like I had one thing, one positive I could say about myself, and then everything else was just negative. That was all pre-diagnosis.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I actually gone through and thought about those labels before. Yeah. But they're not pretty. That's why there was a long pause, because I was like, wow, there's a lot. It's a lot to unpack.
Right.
But
I'm curious, like, Randy, your diagnosis was, or like your diagnostic journey is shorter and more recent, I guess. Thinking about labels before and after, how has that really changed over time?
I don't know. I don't know that I've really given it much thought.
Right?
Yeah.
I never really bought into the labels before.
We were all kind of in that boat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I mean, was there a fear of labels? Or specific labels when you were struggling?
Maybe.
Because for me, it was always that, like, I was running as far and as fast as I possibly could from the label of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was
all labels
like,
in general.
the abusive labelage that was attached to.
Well, I think for you, it's that one specifically because that's one you would apply to yourself, which was scary. Yeah. Whereas you would avoid other labels in general because they were never used as a positive.
Right.
Up until that point.
Right. There was no, like, they weren't helpful. They were just derogatory.
It wasn't until someone explained to us.
Yes.
That we were like, oh, wait a minute. There might be a reason to have these. Like, it could be useful, I guess.
Yeah. Well, because for me, it's always been, and I mean, it still is, but I understand now that labels are there to, like, help me get across to other people who I am and where I stand in the world. But I mean, it still doesn't cover it, right? Like,
no.
You can never boil you down to a set of labels.
No.
You are always going to be more complex than that. But that was like the fear of the labels before.
What sucks too is that we're in an age where everybody wants to label everything.
Yes.
So it's like you try to distill yourself into labels, but you can't because there aren't enough. So you start creating them, but then you find out you can't label everything.
Right. Well,
except by using your name.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly it. Like when I was growing up, it was like, well, why can't I be me and have all of these like traits?
Yeah.
Instead of like, I have to be all of these things.
Right.
That still don't come close to describing me. So it was a weird backwards way of learning the use of labels and how to apply them. Because like you said, like there were the derogatory labels that I knew because that's what I knew. And those were ones that I had to really drop along the way because it was self-abusive.
Yeah. Very.
For sure. Yeah.
But then everything changed.
But then, one day.
That's what happened.
When the Fire
Kingdom invaded. Then we realized that, we could use these in a positive way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right.
Like that started something.
It started... Because then I realized that I didn't have to expect a label to convey all of me.
Right.
Right? Like, it wasn't like, because it always felt like a lie before, like, oh, I am this thing, but like, there's much more than just this thing.
Right.
This thing is just the vessel of participation with the world.
Right. I had that right recently.
Yeah.
Just like this week, I think. Where I was given a label and I was like, oh, that feels icky. I don't like that. But it was a good label. It was just like, there's more to me than just, I'm a podcaster.
Oh, yeah.
Because people have been like giving us shout outs and stuff on streams and whatnot. And I'm like, but there's more, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
Right.
I am that. And that's all people need to know at the moment, I guess.
Right. Well, and that's the hard part too. Because like we've talked about masking and the difficulty when you are neurodivergent. Because to live authentically is what comes naturally.
Yeah.
But the world is not built for that. And it's confused when you try to live like authentically. But yeah, no, I don't know. But it is a very much the world is made up of games that we don't know how to play.
Right.
And that makes it difficult. But then we look over here at this boy who is excellent at playing the games for some weird reason and understands all these neurotypical weirdos. Sorry.
She's not bitter. She swears.
I just don't understand your brains where you're like, read between the lines. And I'm like, but I already said the words.
Right.
Why are you reading between the anything? I said the words that I used or the thing that I'm trying to convey to you. And they're like, but what you really meant was, and you're like, stop, please.
I had that problem with Jen too for the longest time.
Oh my God.
She thought that I was hinting at things when I was just saying what I meant.
Yes. Oh my God. And he did it for a long time too, where he was just like, I don't understand what you're trying to say. And I'm like, I'm trying to say what I just said. And he's like, but I don't understand what you're really trying to say.
Right.
I'm like, but I really said what I really meant.
Because that's how other people function.
Yeah.
The outside world.
Yes. Well, that's how you were raised. That's how your family works, right?
I think it's how most people function, honestly.
But it's hard and it's exhausting and I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. But yeah, labels are a really big thing.
She's
Just
getting
in
lost
general,
in thought.
sorry.
I love it. They're just a
I was
big
just like,
thing.
it's really huge, especially now because we're like, break down the walls, but also label and build more walls.
Well, and we're putting ourselves in positions where we need to use labels, like having people like refer to us as podcasters. It's not like we have two.
Yeah.
We don't just have one now. There's two.
Our podcast had a baby.
Kind of in it.
Yeah.
In it to win it now.
In it to win it.
So that's a title.
Yeah.
But I was trying to think of some examples of ones that I've not needed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because especially on the bipolar journey, there have been, I guess, negative labels that I would have given it. Like being bipolar has, you're inconsistent.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily true. I'm treated now like I'm fine.
Right.
It's wobbly, but it's not as bad.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't consider it that way. Like unstable.
Yeah.
Was one that I started with.
Right.
Like these were all things that come with being bipolar.
Yeah.
And they were great at the time because they helped me understand when I was being manic or that it wasn't me personally. It was the way my brain's functioning.
These are symptoms rather than labels.
But now they're not true.
Yeah.
So
well, because you're treated, right?
Yeah. I can notice them as things that pop up, but
right.
It's not how I would describe being bipolar.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Right. Well, and that's why, Randy, I'm really curious too, because for you, like you've had less practice in symptom recognition and like remembering. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like sometimes you forget flat out that you're bipolar. Yeah. And then you're mean to yourself and you're like, I'm terrible. And I'm like, no, you're bipolar.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think some of the labels like that come up, it's symptoms, right? Like it's
a lot of it, especially for like people like us, because we have so many symptoms. Like everything is a symptom of something in some way.
Yeah.
Even if I was having like a bad day, I'd be like, I'm grouchy because it's a symptom of my back being in pain. Or, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, that's what I was trying to explain to this doctor. Like the idea that if I know what it is, it doesn't scare me. Like there's no fear to be had in it. Right.
Understand.
So if I understand where it's coming from and what it is, I can go, oh, that's just a blah, blah, blah. Or that's a blah, blah, blah. And like, it's not a problem.
No.
It's not, it doesn't mean anything overall.
No, it helps you to not assign a feeling to it, which is what he thought you were doing.
Yes. Which is so funny because like with the book, it's just,
It's counter.
Fascinating.
Like, it's weird to me that that's his takeaway. When you're like, I need to know what it is so that it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, you're definitely emotionally attached to all your diseases now.
Yes. Or like I'm in the fear state of everything.
Yeah.
Which in a way there is a fear state of like nobody's listening to me.
Right. Which is definitely reinforced when, they send you books that don't really fit.
Well, and it's a good book. Like I recommend for other people with chronic pain, like The Way Out is a fascinating read. It is a very interesting thing. I mean, it's from a guy who was on The Doctors, so
right,
grain of salt, right? But it is a fascinating read.
Yeah.
But it does take this kind of tack of reassure yourself, make sure you know you're safe, and you're like, the safety's not the issue. The is it this or that is the issue.
Right.
Is it this or is it this? Or is it this or is it this? Like the fight between the labeling of symptoms and like pain and actual problems.
You know what it's like? It's the difference between when you start a job and when you're good at a job.
Yeah.
You start out, you're panicked, like all the information is new and you're trying to handle it all. And oh my God, this is the thing. And oh my God, this is the thing.
Right.
Versus knowing everything and being like, okay, I know what to do. Like,
right.
You're just sorting it. You're doing your.
Sorting it is the best way to put it, I think.
Right.
Because it's not like it's distressing when it comes about.
No.
Like there's no part of me that's like, I feel a symptom, therefore I'm going to die. It's like, what is that?
Right.
What is that? I'm gonna poke it like, until I understand it.
Example, like, oh, I dislocated my shoulder earlier today. That's why I'm sore.
Yeah.
Now I'm not worried about
context. Bringing back that context.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and that's exactly it. Like, why do my legs hurt? Oh, you worked out the other day. Duh. Like, the context matters. The things that are behind the curtain matter more than the actual labels themselves sometimes. And understanding that the labels are a summary and a brief of what is behind the curtain is really important, because it's never going to like one-to-one match.
Nope.
Right. It's never going to fully describe who you are. And if we went by labels, we'd have a laundry list.
That's a good example of one that's changed. I'm trying to think of a good one for it. Like the ones where
disabled.
Yeah, there you go.
Disabled is a really big one. Yeah. Not even so much the definition changed, but the implication changed, right? Like it's not out to get me.
Right.
It's not harmful, and it's not something I'm stealing from anyone else when I say it. So I can say I am disabled because, hi, guess what? I'm disabled.
Right.
Is that all I am?
No.
Does that cover everything that's wrong with me? Still no.
Obviously.
Right? Like it's just, but it is enough to throw in there for other people to maybe sort of peek.
Right.
The like, oh, okay.
Well, because it gives them certain context to function around you, right? Like
exactly
things that changes the way they think or perceive you
Yeah.
in a way that's beneficial.
Right.
I mean, now that doesn't mean that doesn't come with negatives, but because people are going to have biases and think things of people who are certain labels regardless.
Yes.
Because their definition's different than yours. But...
Oh yeah, that's all the people that we see at like handicap parking.
Yes.
Who get pissy about it. All of that, but what's another example?
Another example?
What were you kind of thinking?
I don't know. I was trying to think of one, and you did a good job. That example was good.
I did a good job. Sorry.
My bad. I won't do it again.
I'm
Please
apologetic.
make sure that you don't ever do that again.
To the words.
Not
I'll just sit here and shut up.
My podcast that I do by myself, and I graciously let you sit in, and you insist on running your mouth in. It's the worst.
I'm just gonna.
Did they let me keep going?
Yeah.
You want me to have my whole villain arc right now? The whole arc?
I'm just gonna not talk and see what happens.
Oh God. So thanks for stopping by.
But yeah, like disabled used to be a threat.
Yeah, I mean, mine was gonna be bipolar, really.
Yeah.
Because now I don't mind giving it out, but I also like to act a certain way to kind of destigmatize it. If that makes sense. Well, by being open about it and talking blatantly about.
I feel like that's
the
other side. That's the other side of the coin, right? Like, it could be a threat or it could be a tool.
Yeah.
To help to educate other people.
That's where I'm trying to go with it.
Because people are so afraid of the label.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Randy, tell us a little bit about how you felt about the label of bipolar.
Ugh.
I don't know. I was pretty neutral to it.
Liar. It's been following you around for a long time.
Was it?
When was the first time someone diagnosed you bipolar?
Oh God. I have that story too.
In like middle school.
Yeah.
Oof. Mine was like straight out of high school. And they were like, have you ever thought about the fact that you might be bipolar? I was like, I'm not bipolar. Fuck off. I'm just having a bad day. Every day.
But I mean, you were not so open to the idea of bipolar being the thing
not either.
prior to when you were like actually actively diagnosed this last time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I was opposed to it.
Well, now I think you've settled into it more.
Yeah.
Like it's less of a threat. But you still forget that you are bipolar, which I think is kind of fun.
I do too, though.
Yeah.
I get reminded all the time by people.
Like, they're like, "Hey, you're bipolar."
Like, oh, thanks. I forgot. My bad.
He's like, "Is the world burning down around me?" And I'm like, "No, you're bipolar." He's like, "Oh, right." But I mean, it's same thing with like ADHD.
Yeah.
Or being neurodivergent as a whole, right? Like it used to be this really nasty term, or really, just there were so many underhanded implications to everything.
Yeah.
And there still kind of are. Like if you look at like ADHD, where people are either on one side or the other of the argument, where they're like, well, it's underdiagnosed, well, it's overdiagnosed, well, it's undertreated, well, it's overtreated. Like there's always going to be that like argument in that space.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that there are a lot of people running around with ADHD who are not treated. Hi, I'm one of them. Hello.
I also am not treated.
Raw dogging life.
It's not easy.
Trying their best.
Man, I need to get in.
But without the label of ADHD, and without being able to incorporate that, all of that just looks like, well, I suck.
Right.
Like, I can't do things. I can't keep up.
Right.
I can't focus on blah, blah, blah. I'm lazy. I'm all of these labels.
Because you're holding yourself to the same standard as not even what people are running at, but the standards that everyone thinks they should be running at.
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize how much that isn't exactly
It's a lot.
True, right?
It's a lot. Oh my God. The things we expect from people is just crazy. Where you're like, work 48 hours a week, have a stable relationship, raise children, and all of these other things that you're supposed to be doing at the same time. Yeah.
And do it with a smile. Because default is happy.
Yes. That one bothers me too, is the depression arc. Of the is it depression or is it the state of the world?
Mm-hmm.
We could argue both ways there.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't think of another good. I can't think of one that's changed, at least not dramatically.
I think it's more about incorporating the correct ones to avoid applying the negative ones.
Yeah.
Because all of those things, like the label of crazy is... That's
wonderful.
Not accurate.
That's so accurate for me.
That's not accurate.
Crazy.
Turn around.
Crazy. Hot.
Look across the street. No. Well, yeah, but yes. What? Now I'm confused.
Was it a compliment or a diss? We'll never know.
Both. What?
Yeah. No, I get it.
But
I get it.
It's about dissecting and reevaluating.
Yeah. Well, and I think we've been keeping up with it. That's why it's hard to come up with one that was discovered again. And then, you know what I mean? Was like, oh no, this has changed. And let me update you. Because we're constantly checking in all the time.
What about exceptionalism?
What about it?
That oh, well, that's not me.
Well, that's not me. What are you talking about? What? You just pointing out my shortcomings now? Goddamn.
No.
She's like, what about being exceptional? Don't know her. What's it like? Tell me about
That's not what I meant at all. No, I just mean the idea that people can want to run so far from labels and so drastically that it becomes this game of exceptionalism where it's oh, well, that might apply for you, but not me. Not me.
That bothers me because it's you're shutting yourself off to real growth.
Yes.
Because you're not willing to examine whether or not you fit something
Mm-hmm.
or if you are something that might be beneficial.
Right.
Because knowledge about yourself just helps you be your better self.
Yes, exactly.
So if you're like, well, that's not me. That can't be me.
Right.
Because you have some beef with the label.
Right.
It's not great.
No.
It's not good. Not
No.
healthy.
Well, and that's the thing is like we need to stop thinking of labels as these threatening permanent marks that live on your forehead for everyone to view.
Right.
Because that's how my brain interprets that.
Mhm.
Is like, well, you're trying to make it like burr, 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 and everything will be seen through this lens only.
Right.
And then we will forget that there is a ton of other context.
Well, that's the thing too, right? Like if people are shutting themselves off, it's because they don't apply the context to it.
Right.
Or they're afraid that no one will see the context in it.
Yeah.
So like you have those, I don't know if it's narcissism where you get a lot of that like mislabeling yourself and like you're applying you present yourself in the way you want people to see.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're not like, oh, I think I might actually have this thing. No, you don't, because you're a narcissist and you think that you're perfect.
Yeah.
There's no self-introspection. There's no, wow, that was a bad thing I did. Why did I do that? It's like, no, that never happened.
That never happened.
And if it did, it was because I was saving orphans.
The hero. Everybody clapped.
There was nobody there. What are you talking about?
Everyone on the subway clapped. You were 4 miles away from the subway. What are you doing?
You didn't take the subway that day. Yeah, I did.
Rewrite history to make it make sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I keep thinking about that. Like, narcissists don't like labels.
No.
They like certain labels,
Mhm.
but they definitely aren't open to
Because
being labeled.
they live in that land of the charming, right?
Yeah.
The charming labels outside of context, where it's like, oh well, they have a lot of charisma,
Right. Or
they're very charming or eloquent.
they'll take, if it's a negative one, it's one that has like a certain context that people will see a certain way so that they get sympathy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where it's like, oh, well, I'm disabled. It's like, you have asthma. You're fine.
It's
have
like
an
the crazy
inhaler.
ex-girlfriend thing where you're like, if
Yeah.
every ex of yours is crazy, honey, it might not be your ex.
Right.
Not to say it's like never the ex, but
no,
like,
but
God,
if every ex is the
ex
problem.
of yours is the problem, like you might be the problem,
And
bruh.
And tangent, may not be you in a bad way. It might just be they have bad taste. There
That
are people,
could be, yeah.
there are people that
do that.
like
They're
the
like,
damage.
I like getting my heart broken. Let's do it again.
Right.
Yes.
And then there are people who legitly are just evil in relationships and use people and then wonder why everyone hates them.
We call those abusers.
Yes.
That's the label they can keep.
That they can keep.
Except I would like if they didn't need it.
Now I'm just imagining everyone running around with like their labels above their heads. Like you get to pick 5 that show up for a day. Mine would be all about food.
All about food.
Hungry, waiting, hungry, not
you can't
hungry.
have hungry twice.
Yes, I can because it's
No.
hungry and hungry.
Hungry. Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
It's
So
like,
it's like hashtags.
it's like
you just get hashtags.
5. Get 5 a day.
See, that's an interesting way to think about it, I think, actually.
I was thinking about
Like
it when
the
we started.
hashtags.
It's hashtagging your life. Like you're trying
Yeah.
to find the right hashtag so that you want to present to people for certain situations, right?
That's interesting.
So like you meet someone new, but you're at like a conference. It's like a professional setting. Well, I'm this. I'm a professional. This.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like
right.
I have a family. I like to play D&D.
Yeah.
You're not gonna say that shit.
Yeah.
Those aren't the right labels. You got to have the right hashtags.
The right hashtags.
And
Now,
people
okay,
lie.
So what do you think your top 5 hashtags are?
Mine?
Yeah.
They're not nice. I've grown a lot,
They're
but I'm not
supposed
perfect.
to be. Randy Michael, he's over there giggling. What are your top?
Yeah, quickly come up
hashtags,
with the 5 best things about you and
No,
tell
I
us
didn't
now.
say best. I said like what are your top 5 hashtags right now?
Like trending?
Yeah.
Oh.
What are your trending hashtags?
I got this. Editor, podcaster, father, because it's Father's Day. That's
Yeah,
trending, and I want to
yeah.
get in on that while it's hot.
Get it?
And then there's 2 more, huh? And I can't have hungry.
I mean, you can.
I'm hungry. And Mixed kid.
Mixed kid. Yeah. How about you?
I don't know that I can think of 5.
It's hard.
It is hard. That's why I'm making you guys do it instead of me.
That's evil.
Biker.
A.
Yeah, there you go.
I like that one.
Tired.
Tired. That's like
Facts.
my top trending. It's just tired.
Yeah, fatigue should have been one of mine. Damn it.
Gamer.
There you go. Okay.
Nothing about educating, huh?
Hell no.
He's like, it's
I
the
love that.
summer.
It's summertime. I'm not an
I'm not educating nobody.
Love it.
I'm out here misspelling everything
Well, it is summer.
on purpose. I don't know how many we're at.
3.
3. Oh.
3's close enough.
Yeah.
It's like
Top
3
3.
is 5. You know, it's the same thing.
Basically.
Bad at rounding.
Bad at rounding. Hashtag bad at rounding.
Legit.
Amazing. That's fabulous. See, and mine would be something like tired. Tired is like big time. That's
I don't know why I didn't put tired
top-
on there. You know why?
top trending.
Because I'm
because you
divergent.
slept.
Well, no, I'm divergent, and that's obvious. It's one of those.
Oh yeah. It's
Why
like,
is it different?
If you
Because
looked
it's
at my
different?
face.
It's like no, I'm tired. I am. Duh.
That's just a thing I got. Okay, I got the tired.
It's like when
God.
you're like, what's the difference between 2 and 7? And we're like, the shape, and
Yeah.
like they're different numbers.
You're like,
Duh.
what do they have in common? The shape. They're numbers. Shut up. Shut up. You keep your numbers
That's
to
why
yourself.
I'm like tired should have been there, but it obviously can't be there because it's obvious.
Ugh.
Nice.
Yeah, it would be like tired, dog mom, artiste,
Mm-hmm.
podcaster,
Mm-hmm.
disabled.
Wow, those are so derogatory. I would have picked some uplifting ones like I did, but it's fine. You
I
do
don't
you.
know how to uplift me.
No, you're
Can't
you're
help
fine.
you.
I'm being facetious. You're fine. You did
I'm
good.
aware.
You did a great job.
Thanks.
Stop.
Stop.
Stop. You're hurting my
You
heart.
did great. Knock it off.
Stop it.
I don't know. I'm just words. I'm good at words. Does it mean I believe any of it?
Yes.
Possibly.
You do now.
Maybe.
You couldn't have years ago,
Could.
but you do now.
Yeah, that's true.
Same with me.
Damn it! I've gotten healthier.
I can watch myself on a podcast now and be like, oh yeah, he's doing fine. Like
Good
look at him go.
job.
He's
Good job.
He's doing the thing.
Yeah.
People like it.
People do like it. You guys have problems.
All 406 of you.
But we
400
love you.
and math.
400 and math of you.
418.
All math of you.
If we get to count doubles from crossover. Because I'm pretty sure everyone that's in Chaos and Conversations is already
Fair,
a follower.
fair.
But, you know.
You know what? I'm gonna take it.
Uh-huh.
I'm taking it. I'm taking it all. I followed
Hey, for a baby podcast,
for myself.
it's been a week. It's at 12 followers or 12 subs. That's not bad.
Pretty great. I'm
pretty,
excited.
Pretty happy.
We're
about
gonna
that.
have to shoot another episode of that this weekend.
Yeah. No, not this
We-
weekend. Probably on Monday or Tuesday. Because you have things
Blur's
tomorrow.
Day.
You have stuff to do tomorrow.
Everything is
It's
Blur's
Father's
Day.
Day.
It's Blur's Day.
I know. That's why I'm telling you. If
Thank
you're not
you.
listening.
It's
It's
still
Father's
gonna be
Day.
Blur's Day.
You gotta do stuff with your family.
I will do the stuff, but I will be confused because it is Blur's Day.
And then all you have
I'll
on
just be
Monday
like, where am I?
is you have
Why am I
that check in
here?
with your neurologist,
Yep.
and then you can do podcast.
That's true.
And we could shoot 2 of them.
Yep.
Because I want to do Wednesday and Sundays.
Yes.
Because I want to.
I wanna. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's always a good idea to like reevaluate. Reevaluate the labels that you've picked up. And this is the important part. Evaluate the labels you've picked up that don't belong to you.
I was going to say that too. The ones that you've picked up because you think people are thinking it about you, or you've
Yes.
heard things
Right.
that you are applying kind of subconsciously.
Right,
And you're
right.
Ugh.
It's
Like
like when
agoraphobia.
Yeah. It's like when we talk about like whose voice is that?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind
It's
of
the
that.
same thing.
You need to dig a little deeper and go like,
That's
why
me.
do I believe that about myself?
Why am I hearing that in my voice though? That's the annoying
Right.
part.
Right.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Bleh.
Ugh. It's because it's in disguise.
It's a transformer.
I was thinking Power Rangers, but for
robots
some
in
reason,
disguise.
no, it was. I don't.
Power Rangers are robots in disguise.
I don't know. They might have been. You don't know.
No, there was a season where there was a robot though.
Yes,
there was a robot one.
There were a couple, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go watch Power Rangers. I don't know what to tell you.
Go watch. No, Super Sentai. It's the series that they stole footage from to make Power Rangers.
Oh, that's funny. Really?
So Super Sentai is its own series, and it doesn't follow the same stories at all. It's way different. But all the fight scenes will be the same because they're using them.
Oh, that's
unless
hilarious.
they shot it in America, which some they did, but
they just dub it because they're all behind masks anyway.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Saban Levy. Yeah. I know
that's
it's Saban.
Funny.
Had the idea for that.
I love that.
We'll take Sentai and we'll just make it American.
Make it American.
And they did.
They were like, cheeseburger. And then that was the end of the show.
That's my joke I make with Austin, except it's not cheeseburger, it's bacon.
Bacon.
Everything's bacon. And he's like, I'll give you maple syrup if you come visit. And I was like, you can't hand that out. That's like a leprechaun. Leprechauns don't give away their gold. Canadians don't give away their maple syrup. Don't test me, boy. Just like if you show up here, I'm not giving you bacon.
They're gonna come for you.
I'm keeping the bacon.
He's gonna hate our bacon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
he
is.
Be like, what in God's name is this?
It's an atrocity.
Mm-hmm. It's a sin against God.
So if you like the last 5 seconds of this podcast, go watch Chaos and Conversations.
Yes.
That's the vibe.
Yeah. The whole vibe. The whole time. It's great. But yeah, I don't know. Reevaluate your relationship with labels. Mm-hmm. Reevaluate like which labels you're picking up and what you're accepting from other people.
Try some on. You know what I mean? Like
take a spin.
You never know. There are things that I've picked up and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that label. Or things like growing up that I was shamed out of liking.
Oh.
You know what I mean? That as an adult, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to like whatever I want.
Yeah. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. I agree with that.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that kid who really liked Jinko jeans. I can't, but I respect the hustle. You know? Those things were crazy. I knew guys that wore them and I was like, bro, I would be tripping all day.
Yep.
And then they would skate in them, which is even scarier.
And they'd be longboarding. No, thank you. All right, Pokey husband of podcast. Anything else to add?
I don't think so.
He's just chilling. He's just happy to be here.
I can't complain about that.
I like his face quite a lot.
Good. I'm glad you married him.
Did I?
Yes, I was there. I made you laugh a bunch.
Yeah, it was a problem. We couldn't walk down the aisle because we were cackling.
Well, it was awkward. Everyone was looking at me, and I was like, ooh, how do I deflect?
I think they were looking at me.
Clearly they weren't.
In my wedding gown.
Nah, bro. They weren't. They didn't even notice you. I was outshining you. I was bright and sunny.
He walked me down the aisle, by the way, in case you were wondering.
I did.
Yeah. It was
a good time.
It was chaos. It was great. I loved it. On that note, I think. Is it time?
It's time.
It's time. Okay, friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you, husband of podcast, for being there to add your notes. Yeah. I appreciate it. He's mostly pokey timing over there.
I don't blame him.
He's having a great time. He's like, I wish you guys would just shut up
Go
so
or
I
is
can
it
play.
TCGO?
Go.
Hell yeah.
He's playing Pokemon Go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's got mods that I don't. Otherwise, I'd be playing Go.
I know. How many phones did you break? Do you remember?
3, I think.
I'm gonna guess 3.
I think it was 3.
Nice.
I was livid too because he was like, "Well, but it was the phone
they bricked,
that
huh? Was it like when you uploaded firmware or rooting?"
And then he learned
2 of them rooting. The third one was something with the certificates when I was spoofing a location.
Gotcha.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He bricked a lot of phones. He's
legit.
He's my expensive boy. He's very cute though. I love him.
He's very cute.
Yeah. All right, my friends. It is time for us to say goodbye. So you need to drink water.
Take your meds.
Do that.
She's gonna say the snack one.
Have a snack.
Because you are a snack.
You are a snack.
I got to say the fun part.
A shiny star and a snack. What else?
Go outside and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Like it.
Or not. Hey, if it's raining, go sit at the window and be sad and feel your feels.
Or go to bed.
Or go to bed.
Or go to bed. I don't know.
Maybe
drink water.
Drink water because you got to hydrate or dehydrate.
Facts. Yeah. And with that.
You just skipped all the bipolar checks. Look at her skipping us because we're lesser than.
Get on with it then.
I'm trying to explain to them how we're a minority.
How I'm terrible. I got it.
The majority of I'm pretty sure the community is
They're all bipolar bears.
It's bipolar bears, but I'm like, we're the minority, people. So they're trying to weed us out. Anyways, if you're bipolar, check in with yourself. Are you manic? Are you not?
Don't
enjoy it.
Spend that money.
Yeah,
you don't need to.
Wait.
It's okay.
Wait until you can get with someone to confirm
Run it past 3 friends.
And if they don't respond, they'll be cursed. They have 7 days to respond.
Yeah.
Chain letter their ass.
Chain letter. Exactly. Forward that email.
Anyways.
Yeah. Finally, we can say, be kind to you. Be kind to others. And we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Also, we didn't say anything about my hair. They're going to be confused.
It's blue.